First and foremost, spoilers, though it's been years since like the 8 OG Harry films came out. Like, if you haven't seen them or haven't read the books, like,
that's on you.
That's on you.
Yeah.
But there are spoilers ahead, so if you've like just been putting it off and you're finally in it, like, we got your back. So don't watch this.
The Harry Potter universe is vast and intricate, and fandoms have found ways to expand some theories that may be so crazy they just might work.
Welcome back to the Hive, everyone. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Dewey, and today we count down our list of top 10 Harry Potter theories that change everything. Starting us off at number 10 is that Dumbledore is actually just a time-traveling Ron Weasley. This theory stems from physical similarities we see in the two characters of Dumbledore and Ron, and small plot points within the books. There is a presumed alternate reality where Voldemort is actually not defeated and an old Ron Weasley is forced to travel back in time and assume the character of Dumbledore to help him and the rest of his friends and students in the fight against the dark arts. Both have long fingers, love chocolate frogs. Dumbledore sees himself holding socks in the mirror of Erised, alluding to Ron never appreciating the socks his mother gave him at Christmas. Dumbledore even makes reference to Bertie Bott's every flavored bean and saying that he enjoyed them when he was younger, but Bertie Bott wouldn't have even been around yet. Interesting theory if I do say so myself. One thing is missing for me though: the ginger hair.
Number 9. Dursleys hated the Horcrux, not Harry. I can't actually believe there's a fan theory that attempts to defend the Dursleys, the horrid, like, prejudiced family that abuses Harry during his upbringing, but according to one fan theory, their hatred towards him wasn't entirely their fault. The theory suggests that due to the fact that Harry was secretly an accidental Horcrux made by Voldemort, that their hatred was just them reacting to it. Harry wasn't a full-blown Horcrux though, it was made accidentally, but still he carried a part of old Voldy inside him, and we know that carrying a fully fledged Horcrux can come at a cost and affect one's mood. For instance, when Ron was carrying the Horcrux during the Deathly Hallows, it turned his mood even more sour, causing Ron to leave after he and Hermione fell out. The three had to take turns carrying them after that in order to ensure that it didn't happen again. But then again, why did Harry have such good friends if him being a Horcrux affected the Dursleys so much? If the Dursleys hated him because he was a Horcrux, surely the same would be true for everyone else at school. Was it because they were Muggles and therefore more affected by it? Well, no, because they were all affected when they carried the other one, so I'm not sure this one 100% excuses the Dursleys if I'm being honest, but debate! Go for it in the comments, let us know.
Coming in at number 8 is a theory that the Muggles and Wizarding World at one point had a war, and surprisingly, the Muggles were the winners. The base of this theory comes from the Goblet of Fire novel, where the Minister of Magic has to inform the Prime Minister that he is bringing a dragon into the country for the Triwizard Tournament. Odd how it seems that he has to answer to a Muggle leader. It is also curious how the title is named Minister of Magic and not just Minister. The theory is that this is from an old war between the two worlds and that the Muggles won and they still have power and control over the Wizarding World. Honestly, I could see that happening, but I find it crazy hard to believe that the Wizards didn't win because, I mean, come on, magic versus us boring Muggles? Not a freaking chance.
Number 7. Harry is immortal. Okay, considering we see him age at the end of Deathly Hallows, I'm not sure how strong the legs are on this one, but still, it is thought-provoking. It's almost so convincing that should JK have decided to take it in this direction, it would have made sense. A line from Sybil Trelawney's prophecy reads as follows: "And the Dark Lord will mark him as his equal, but he will have power the Dark Lord knows not. And either must die at the hand of the other, for neither can live while the other survives." Chills every time. This line presents the idea that only Harry can kill Voldemort and vice versa, which means since Voldemort is dead, Harry is now immortal because only he can kill him. What makes this even more heartbreaking is that by sacrificing his ability to die, Harry can never be reunited with his loved ones. Harry would be forever the boy who lived.
At number 6 we have Remus Lupin and Sirius Black possibly being in love. While at Hogwarts, these two characters along with Peter Pettigrew and James Potter were all close friends. We all know that Remus actually ends up marrying Nymphadora Tonks, but this doesn't happen until after Black dies in the Second Wizarding War. There are countless quotes in the books referencing and emphasizing the special relationship between these two characters, but I don't know. Maybe they just have one of the best bromances to ever have existed.
Number 5. Dumbledore knew Lockhart sucked. We all know Dumbledore has a great sense of humor, so this one, if it is true, doesn't surprise me. Between the movie and the books, those knowing eyes beneath those half-moon glasses could see a fraud a mile away. His lighthearted and perceptive personality led this fan theory to grow some really deep roots that Dumbledore hired Gilderoy Lockhart for a laugh. He knew that Lockhart was a fraud, but instead of outing him, Dumbledore decided to put him in the one position that would show his true light. He made him a teacher, knowing full well that he wouldn't be able to teach anything that he didn't know, and that would eventually unravel the lies. After all, you can face dragons and climb treacherous mountains, but there are very few who can handle the one kid in class who constantly asks why after each statement, like why? Why? You know that kid? Was this a smart play as headmaster? Not really, but if it is true, it just goes to show how much faith Dumbledore must have had in his students because, you gave them a really crappy teacher on purpose.
Coming in at number 4, and one that I personally love, is that Neville Longbottom is actually the chosen one and not Harry. As what culture has pointed out previously, the central prophecy in Harry Potter states that the chosen one will be born to those who have thrice defied him. Born as the 7th month dies, and he will have the power the Dark Lord knows not. Well, Neville was born on July 30th, and his parents were tortured for standing up to the big man Voldemort himself. The power that he has that the Dark Lord doesn't could quite possibly be herbology. There's even a quote in the Order of the Phoenix book where Dumbledore states, "The odd thing is, Harry," he said softly, "is that it may not have meant you at all." Sybil's prophecy could have applied to 2 wizard boys, both born at the end of July that year, both of whom had parents in the Order of the Phoenix, both sets of parents having narrowly escaped Voldemort 3 times. One, of course, was you. The other was Neville Longbottom. So what do you think? Should we rename all the books with Neville Longbottom?
Number 3, Crookshanks was Lily's cat. I love this theory and it actually makes a lot of sense. Crookshanks is Hermione's familiar that she attains in year 3, which she gets from the magical menagerie after they said nobody wanted him. Cute and ugly fugly at the same time, Crookshanks isn't your ordinary cat. He's part Measle, which helps him seek out untrustworthy beings, and especially Animagus. Remember how much he hated Scabbers and trusted Sirius in dog form? Well, there could be another reason. As Crookshanks had been at the menagerie for a long time, many believe that the cat used to belong to Lily and had been there since she died. This would also explain why Crookshanks was so willing to work with Sirius to lure Harry, Ron, and Hermione to the Whomping Willow, and why she hated Scabbers, beyond the fact that he was a rat.
Coming in at number 2, we have Harry and Hermione as siblings. Ever wonder why Harry and Hermione were never together? Well, it might just be because the 2 best friends were actually closer than we thought. Right from the very beginning, Hermione acts as a very caring and loving friend in the movie and books. We all know she is part of the protection plan of Harry Potter, and maybe her Muggle parents were actually her adoptive parents and weren't even real at all. This might add to the explanation as to why and how she wiped her parents' memory of her altogether in Deathly Hallows. I don't know, there isn't much proof or real cause for suspicion on this one if you ask me, but if it was indeed true, then that would have a huge impact on these characters and on these stories.
Number 1. Dumbledore as Death. This theory is one that J.K. Rowling reportedly responded to via Twitter saying, "Dumbledore is Death? It's a beautiful theory, and it fits." So, this theory refers to the Deathly Hallows and the 3 men who crossed death. The theory states that Dumbledore actually could be Death from the story in a metaphorical sense. If you need a reminder, the story of the Deathly Hallows goes as follows. 3 men cheated Death by magically crossing a river too treacherous to pass. Death pretended to congratulate them and gave them each a prize. The oldest received the most powerful wand, the middle child asked for the power to bring back the dead, and the third asked for something that would not allow Death to follow him: the invisibility cloak, the resurrection stone, and the elder wand. The theory states that because Dumbledore at one time possessed all 3, he is Death. Additionally, that Voldemort represents the eldest brother, Snape as the second because of his love for Lily, and Harry as the youngest as he often used the invisibility cloak. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching and being a part of our hive. I hope these Harry Potter theories blew your mind.
I mean, a few of them have been messing with me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna have to like reread and rewatch everything. But...
I know I have to, it's gonna be great. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been your host Rachel Fisher.
And I've been your host Dewey Stewart, and we will see you all back here very, very soon. Until next time, stay sweet.